back in the old days when they had the real Tea Party, you know why they had it, don't you? Because the government got arrogant, the government was out of control, and the government was taking freedom away from the colonists who wanted to be free, and they said, enough is enough. This outpouring today are a group of people who are patriots who are saying enough is enough. Why are we here? We're here because we love our country. And we're here because we love our children. And we want our children to have a better country than the country we received from our mothers and fathers. That's the great American tradition. The next generation better than this generation. We'll fight for it, won't we? You know, we know what the winning formula is. The winning formula is low taxes, so that individuals can have more power and more money in their pocket to run their lives and to help their neighbors as they see fit. The great American tradition and formula is that government is a last resort, not a first resort to come in and tell us what to do, run our businesses, and get involved in our lives. We know that's not the right solution. So we know that government is a last resort, not as a first resort, and the regulators have to realize they work for us. We don't work for them. And that's the winning formula. And that was the formula that Ronald Reagan, once a Democrat, then a Republican, he was bipartisan. Ronald Reagan said, if we cut taxes, if we give people incentives to work hard, we'll have morning in America. And that is exactly what Reagan did. And in the middle 90s, when Republicans stood firm and worked with President Clinton in a bipartisan way, we were able to come up with a successful 90s with more jobs, more wealth, more security, and more prosperity, but we kept the formula in mind. And why the turnout today? Well, it's because we're all troubled about the direction. We don't want anybody to fail. We want the country to succeed. So when we think the country's heading in the wrong direction and we're in the car, we're going to tell the driver to turn that car around. It is wrong in America to punish those who play by the rules. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I have a friend. He's got 4 adult children. He has 1 adult daughter. She's a single mom. Yeah, she married a bum. Now, she has her 2 kids, one getting ready to go to college. The other one, who's just on the verge of getting to be a senior, she's going to be thinking about college. She's a flight attendant. You know, it used to be a great job. It's not anymore. They've lost their benefits. They've had their pay cut. She gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning to drive to the Cincinnati airport. She has more than 100,000 miles on her automobile. You know why? Because she can't afford more, and she lives within her means. She also, in this job, makes very little salary, and they don't have a big, fancy, expensive home. They struggle, but they've got a clean home, a neat home. They worship God. They play by the rules. And when somebody in Washington, including the president, says that we should take from that lady to give the people who drive a fancy car and live in a home they can't afford, and support them, and let me just also say, many of you know this. I met many of you over the years. My father was a mailman. He carried mail on his back. And my mother and father gave me a simple value. If you work hard, if you sacrifice, if you save, if you put in the long hours, at the end of the day, everything in America is possible. And for those in Washington and in Columbus, Ohio, to begin to say that because you work hard, you sacrifice, you play by the rules, that at the end of the day, if you're successful, you did something wrong and we're going to punish you, that's un-American. That's old nay, because in this country, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, if you work hard, if you sacrifice, if you play by the rules, and have a little faith in the good Lord, there are no limits for you. And I can tell you, because I'm a good example of it. In addition, one other thing we know, no politician has a right to put enormous debt on the backs of our children. And too many of the politicians, Republican and Democrat alike, Republican and Democratic alike, put their earmarks and their overspending and their buying public votes in the short term to give themselves short-term success at the expense of our children. It must be stopped. It is time for the people that we elect at all levels, at the school board and the city council, that state legislature, that governor's office, that Congress, and that president. At the end of the day, politicians are elected to do the people's will, not to serve their own interests, and make decisions that in the long run are going to strengthen our communities and our country. And when they don't, we must march against them. So what do we do? What do we stand for? Well, we believe in tax cuts. We believe in cutting the taxes. We have a death tax in this state that's punishing the people who were successful and created the jobs. It's got to go. It's got to go if we're going to bring jobs back to our state. But we got to cut taxes. We got to restore an incentive for young and middle and older folks to be able to risk take and invest, because that's what creates the jobs, the good jobs, the knowledge jobs. It gives people a chance to realize their hopes and dreams. And then secondly, we've got to empower the entrepreneurs, those people that want to start a business in their garage like they did at Google, where they can create and change the world, whether it's in medicine or computing or biotechnology. It doesn't matter. We've got to encourage the entrepreneurs. And in the process of all this, we can create wealth. And as we create wealth, we can create jobs, and that's the lifeblood of existence. Now, a lot of people are going to look at this Tea Party going on not just in Columbus, but across our country. And they're going to say, this is about anger. It's not about anger. They're going to say this is about polarizing people. It is not about polarizing people. They're going to say that it's partisan, and it is not partisan. This is a message to every politician, Republican and Democrat alike. I'll tell you what it is about. About this crowd, and I'm one of you. And let me just tell you, we are determined, we are committed, and we are relentless. And if they don't get the message, we'll march. Yeah. And we will do it. And we will do it for three reasons. We will do it for our country, our blessed United States of America. We will do it for our communities where we live and work and raise our children, and we will do it for our families because it is the right thing to do. This is the best of America. God bless you. Good luck.